Check out my review of the Mimosa dress by Move Fabrics. Hi YouTube, I'm Crystal of Crystalsewsandstuff.com. Welcome back to the channel where I share sewing pattern reviews, sewing tips and techniques, and other fun related content. So today I'm going to be reviewing with you the Mimosa dress by Move Fabrics. And I created this dress to participate in the Frugalfrocks 2021 sewing challenge. And this is a really fun sewing challenge created by Sam of Frugalissima, as well as the Yorkshire Sew Girl, both here on YouTube and Instagram. So they created this fun sewing challenge where you make up a free sewing pattern in a fabric that you've had in your stash, and then you all present it on March 31st. So I'm so happy I got a chance to participate in this fun challenge. So now let me go ahead and share with you the Mimosa dress. So the Mimosa dress is a knit sewing pattern designed for lighter weight drapey knits, and I chose this beautiful tropical print that I picked up from Move Fabrics I would say about 2 years ago, doing a shopping trip to New York, and I just love how it turned out. And I believe this is a bamboo rayon or cotton rayon jersey because it's really lightweight and flowy, and so I just love the drape of it, and it's perfect for this style of pattern. And so the other fabrics that are recommended for this pattern are bamboo knits, cotton knits, as well as printed knits. So I'm guessing ITY knits, things like that, would also work really well because they generally have a lot of drape to it. So anyway, you need about 3 to 4 yards depending on your size. Now the pattern does have a really great size range, and so it goes from a size 0 to size 30, and that fits bust up to size 58.5 inches, waist up to 49.5 inches, and hips up to 63 inches. So a really good size range, and so a lot of people will be able to fit this pattern. And I sewed up a size 8 to 10 at the bodice, and then I graded up to a size 10-12. So the patterns ranges come in sizes. The different sizes that you can cut out are like in 2 size increments. So you have like your 0 to 2, your 2 to 4, 4 to 6, and so on. And so I picked up a size 8 to 10 for my 36-inch bust, and I really like the fit of it. The only pattern change that I had to make was I raised up the bodice about a ½ inch, just so it could hit me, you know, right at my waist. And that was the only pattern change that I made to this pattern. So I'm really happy with the fit, and picking out this picking out these sizes really worked well for me. There aren't a lot of pattern pieces with the pattern, so you have your front bodice cut on the fold, your back bodice cut on the fold, you have your sleeves cut double, you have one neckband piece cut on the fold, and then you have a front skirt piece and then a back skirt piece, as well as one tie piece that goes on the left side of the pattern. So not too many pattern pieces for you to deal with, so I really like that. The less pattern pieces, the faster it generally sews. So I really like that about this pattern. This is a PDF pattern, and there are 58 pages for the PDF pattern, and so you do have to tape them together because there's not an option for a large scale printing, but you know, it's a free pattern, so sometimes you have to take that with it. So I didn't mind. I just took my time going ahead and taping it together, so it didn't take too long. And it's also, they don't have layering for the pattern sizes, so you have to print out all of the pattern sizes when you make this pattern. So I just wanted to let you know that as well. So now I wanted to talk to you a little bit about the directions. So there aren't your traditional type of directions included with the pattern. The directions are a blog post on the Mood Society website, and that's where they have all of the free sewing patterns. Those are all in a blog post. So the blog post is pretty sparse. So I wouldn't say that this pattern is for a beginner. I would say it's more for an advanced beginner to intermediate, just because you kind of have to have an idea of sewing construction in order to sew this up, because they don't hold your hand at all. So they just show you some really brief directions. So now let me tell you about the construction of the pattern. So the first thing that you have to do is sew 4 tucks on each side of the front bodice, and so there are 4 tucks on each side of the bodice, and so tucks are basically pleats that you sew down, and so there are 4 pleats on each side, and so you have to sew those up, and they're about 1.5 inches from the bottom of the front bodice piece on each on each side for each tuck. And so I sewed those down first, and then I also, which is not included in the pattern, I also stay stitched those down. So basically I sewed them down so they wouldn't move when I constructed the rest of the pattern. And so that's the first thing that you had to do for the pattern. The next thing you did was go ahead and you sewed your shoulder seams, and then you attached your neckband, and then you sewed up the side seams of the bodice pieces. You insert your sleeves, and then you construct your skirt pieces. So for the construction of the skirt pieces, you had to attach the tie piece. Well, you have to construct the tie piece. So it's just one tie piece that you sew front to back, and then you turn it out like you do a loop. So really easy. The tie piece was the easiest part to construct. So you sew up the tie piece, and then you attach your front skirt piece to your back skirt piece on the left hand side only. You also have to trim down the right side of the skirt back piece so that you can have an angle which creates the tie, because you just have one tie on the left hand side, and then the way you tie it up is from the back pattern piece. And the back pattern piece is like double the width of your front pattern piece, of your front, skirt piece. So I have a quick video detailing the construction of the front and back skirt pieces. Here it is. So there are two main skirt pieces. You have one skirt piece, the skirt front, and then you also have a really wide skirt back, and it's one wide piece for the skirt back. You want to make sure you trim off about 1 inch off the side for the right side according to the pattern piece, because this is not in the directions that come with the pattern, so they don't explain this to you in the directions, but it is on the pattern piece. So you want to make sure you go ahead and trim the wearer's right side down. And it's about 1 inch, but it angles down. It smooths out to nothing from the bottom all the way up to this marked notch right here. So for the skirt front, you need to trim off 1 inch according to the pattern piece, because it's not in the directions. So you want to make sure you take note of that, to go ahead and trim off 1 inch off the right side, the wearer's right side, and then you want to make sure you mark on the left side where the tie piece is going to be. Another thing you want to take note of is that you're only attaching the front to back on one side. So you're going to be attaching the front to back on the left side, and you're going to match up the curves. So there's a curve. So the side that you didn't cut, so the side that you didn't trim down is going to match up to the skirt back. And then you're going to sandwich your tie piece in between your back and front on the inside with all of your cut edges together. So here's where I marked the tie piece right here, so I'm going to match that in, and they say it should be 1 inch from the waist seam, and that's a waist, that's about, you can tell that's 1 inch right there. So there we go. Okay, so you have all of these. So you have your back sandwiched in with your tie piece and your front, and then you just continue pinning that down, and you sew up the side seam. So the main thing is that you just have to remember to trim down the right side of your back pattern piece so you can get the angle for the tie, and you also have to remember to mark your left hand seam and sandwich the tie between the seams on the left hand side only. And so those are the only little key details I wanted to make sure you remember, and also that the seam allowance on the neckband is only 3/8 inch, while the rest of the construction of the pattern is at 1/2 inch. Alright, so those are the details of the pattern, and here are some fun pics and twirls of me wearing this really cute dress. Alright, those are the pics and twirls of me wearing this fun dress. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I know I can wear this to the beach, or I could just wear it out and about on a nice sunny day because it's nice and loose. It's starting to warm up here. I'm starting to see spring buds grow on the trees, and my bushes are probably about to bloom soon. So I'm enjoying the warm weather, and I think this is perfect for spring to summer season. Alright, so let me know what you think about this dress in the comment section below, and let me know if this is something that you would sew up. I'd love to know, and if you've tried any of Mood's free sewing patterns, I would love to know that. Alright, so if you haven't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and go ahead and give me a thumbs up and like the video, and because it really helps the channel. Alright, so until next time, you all have a great day. Take care. Bye.